It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Bruh. Ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, and I am coming to you for another episode here on The Wait a Minute Show, and by way of thewaitaminuteshow.com and YouTube. So, real quick, if you're not already on the YouTube channel, make sure you're getting onto the YouTube channel, subscribe, turn on those notifications. But The Wait a Minute Show, I don't do this thing by myself. I have someone here. Oh, boy. He been acting real funky this past week, but whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, Lopan is here with me.
Indeed.
Yes, so get him out the way. I'm excited. We're getting closer and closer to some football. We're going to get into San Francisco 49er talk. I got a great interview lined up for you with about the AFC North, so we're going to continue our divisional talk. And LeBron, D Wade, you know, they've been in the TV and movie and all that stuff biz, and they're dibbling and dabbling once again. So it's a lot of stuff that's going to be interesting. So we're going to talk about what they got going on as well, and other things. But before I do any of that stuff as well, the Wait a Minute Show Fantasy Football League, the 2.0 league, because we got two leagues. We kicked off the draft. So if you follow me on Facebook, check that out. I went live earlier today to basically let everybody know the draft order. So we do it a little bit different, where we put some ping pong balls in the turner and we determine who drafts. So your boy got number 3 overall. I would have probably, liked more around 5 or 6, but it is what it is. The biggest thing is I didn't want the number 1 overall pick.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and then you waiting, and I like kind of being around in the middle. But I won last year, at the end, so I guess it really don't matter, because I do my thistle on it. But it was exciting. It was fun. We got another one that's going to be coming up as well. Like I said, we got 2 leagues that are going on, so I'm excited for that and to keep this thing expanding. But let's get off fantasy football, get into some real reality football for a moment, and actually real life stuff that's been going on. And that was just this past week with Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson, finally this, settlement, if you will, because the initial 6 games, the NFL appealed, which we knew they were going to appeal. So now it's official. Adam Schefter reported, and everybody else has reported in the world, is that Deshaun Watson is going to be serving an 11-game suspension. He has a $5 million fine that he has to pay, and he has to look into some counseling. So having said all that, now that everything is out there and it's all said and done, there's things that that you thought about that scratch your head. There's things that you're just saying, look, this just didn't seem right, and all this stuff. So we went through all that, and we got to this point, right? And so my final thing that I'm gonna take from this is that with Deshaun Watson doing a previous interview, him putting out the apologies and all this stuff about people that he affected. He didn't say I committed a crime, but in what he was saying, I took that he admitted some wrongdoing, and just saying that I got to work better, on and off the field, and being better. Well, yeah, bro. I mean, you had a lot of stuff that was pointing your way, and you settled out of court. With a bunch of them. I think it's only one case that's still open, so you got to assume that is going to be resolved. But then you take the fine, you take the games. At this point, at the end of the day, here's the biggest thing. At the end of the day, is that whatever happened with all the people that he encountered, right? It wasn't just a complete, how it was at the beginning, because how I took it, what he was saying is that, look, at the end of the day, you guys are going to be saying sorry, because we doubted you, we this, we that, and you posed all these questions, about me, and I'm going to prove all that wrong. That didn't happen, right? That didn't happen, because obviously if all of us was wrong, when I say us, I guess I shouldn't say me, I was more kind of like waiting to, some things develop. But as things develop, I'm like, look, this dude ain't completely clean, from where it was beginning and kind of how it was being portrayed, on it. And now that could be, the lawyer talk and, and all that stuff, because you don't want to be out there, the court of public opinion. But at the end of the day, some stuff happened, some stuff that shouldn't happen, or wasn't supposed to happen, or anything. Something happened to the degree, to the magnitude. We don't know, what it is. And Deshaun got some stuff, and he has already said it. He got some stuff that he needs to fix. Right. So, and it doesn't just deal with 11 games. This is going on after that 11 games. That's just a byproduct of what transpired. It's not like you finished the 11 games and then you're like, oh, I'm back, and everything. No. So he got a lot of work that he got ahead of him. The good thing is that he at least is doing it, but it's going to open up a lot of criticism, especially when he gets back, because people are still going to be asking that question, at least for the rest of the year. Then it's, you look at, the Browns and everything. Now the Browns, the people look at the Browns organization and just like, how could you do this, or why would you do this? And you knew he was going through this situation, and you still, made these deals, on it. So this is all created, and this is all, the center point is Deshaun Watson. So it's a lot of work that he has ahead of him. I said it before, I'll say it again. Hopefully that the people that were impacted, by this, everything works itself out, or everything is it doesn't take a downfall or downward spiral for anybody that was involved in this, because the whole thing is really things getting better. Things getting better. But from all of this, at the end of the day, yeah, there's some stuff that happens. And you got to look yourself in the mirror and really say, how much did I contribute to that? Or what did I contribute to it? Some people say all of it. Some people, everybody's going to have their, their own thing as far as like how much they think. But got to get it together. It started a long time ago, but it got to continue, and it got to definitely continue. This is about your future and other people's future as well. So it's a crazy situation, and football will go on, and then they'll be moving on to some other story, in the NFL about week 13, week 14, but looks like it's come to, closure. Seems like it. You listen to the watching. I got to get out of the audio. On Wednesday, I do X Squad Radio Network. So, it's audio. So that's what I'm saying, listening. I'm sorry. So you're watching the Wait a Minute show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. We're sitting here talking about sports. And I told you, this division talk that we got going on, and it's going to continue. We're almost done with all the divisions. We got the NFC East and the AFC East that is left to cover, because today I have the AFC North that I'm going to cover with you guys. And I brought two people along with me from their own podcast. Check this out. I think you'll enjoy it. Some rivalry going on here. You never can go wrong with good old rivalry. Check this interview out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got two guests here with me, and boy, am I excited. They are from the Barbershop Talk Podcast. and I got Trey Frazier and Maestro Styles here with me to talk about the AFC North. If you haven't figured it out yet, ladies and gentlemen, just look at them. You know, you see what they repping, so you see what we're here to talk about. And
let me get it right.
Get the terrible towel. He got all the Be More stuff in the background. You will not see any Cincinnati and Cleveland stuff in here at all. So if you are one of those fans, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. It's not. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, man. Jelani, thank you for having us, bro.
Hey, it's been long overdue.
Jelani, appreciate it.
Yeah, long
Appreciate
overdue.
it,
I should have been had y'all on, so that's my bad. But I got it. I got it together. So we're going to talk.
What a time to have us on, though.
Yeah. Interesting.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
So we're going to talk about the AFC North, and we'll get to your teams in just a second. I'm sure. Let's get these other teams that you're probably not really concerned about, but I still got to ask you because they're in your division. So we're talking
absolutely
divisional talk here on the Wait a Minute show, and I'm going to start with you, Maestro, and we'll start with the Cleveland Browns. Now we know Deshaun Watson's going to be serving X amount of games. We know at least 6 to start with, and we're expecting more. This team has, they got Chubb, they got, Kareem Hunt, they got pieces. They brought in Amari Cooper. They just lost their starting center just this past week. And Jacoby Brissett looks to be the guy to be starting. Now, there was rumor about Jimmy Garoppolo, but that's for another day. What is the realistic expectations that you're expecting from the Browns going into this season with everything that's going on?
I'd be number 4 in the division. That's where I'm going with it. Jelani, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You caught me at a bad time. We're getting real close to the start of the season, and objectivity on my end is about to officially start going out the window.
God.
So it's you might get a couple of little remains of objectivity that I had throughout the summertime, but it's getting to be that time, and I've seen Pittsburgh's first preseason game, and I'm excited. But getting to Cleveland. Look, man, they say they got a pretty easy schedule in them first 6 games. I guess media calls it one of the easier schedules in that 6-game time that Deshaun Watson's supposed to be out. And for whatever it's worth, cool. Look, Jacoby Brissett is a good quarterback. Is he like the he should be able to win 3 of those games. And without me having the schedule in front of me, he should be able to win 3 of those games with everything Cleveland got to put around him. I hate to use the term game manager, particularly with black quarterbacks, but if there's ever a time where you can just hand the ball off and make the right throws, Jacoby Brissett is in that perfect position to do that in these first 6 games. So, I mean, he should at least get 3 out of them. Then when Deshaun Watson comes back, I don't expect Deshaun Watson to come in and immediately be that guy. I don't expect it. Cleveland's, in the famous words of Trey, Cleveland's. I don't think this team, even though on paper they look great, I don't think this is the team that we need to be concerned about in the North.
I'll move it over to you, Trey. What you got for the Browns?
So it's funny you bring up the schedule, right? So I know I mentioned that as a talking point on a platform, Jelani. I don't know if you listened or not, but there was that rumor out there that they did have the easiest schedule. And I thought, okay, they're playing half of the NFC South, so you got your Carolinas, you got your Falcons in there. You probably got the Jets, the Texans, some of those like 4th place teams that, finished last in their divisions last year. And I was like, you know what? Let me just take a look at the schedule real quick, right? So their first 6 games, right? Carolina, which I think we knew already because of the Baker, revenge game.
Right.
Then it's the Jets. And then you got the Steelers. Now, I hope the Steelers lose this game, But let's be real. This is not an easy game for the Cleveland Browns. Then you look down the schedule. The Falcons, okay, cool. Then you got the Chargers, who everybody seems to want to anoint this offseason because of the quarterback. That's not an easy game for the Cleveland Browns. And then to close out that 6-game stretch, you're playing the Patriots. Again, not an easy game for the Cleveland Browns. So I don't get where they all of a sudden they got the easiest, 6 games to open a schedule type of, schedule. I don't necessarily see that. So, I mean, looking at that realistically, they probably win. Win 3 of those games. They go 3-3, right?
500.
You know what I mean? So, they go 3-3, they 500, and then let's say Deshaun comes back for this Ravens game, and quite frankly, he's probably gonna get more than 6 games. So let's just wait for that verdict to come down, because if the commissioner comes back and says he's gonna get 6 games, then the commissioner they just got some issues over there. But yeah, I think realistically, the Browns are going to be 4th place in this division. I'm gonna echo what Maestro said. They're going to be number 4 in this division, and it's clearly going to be because they're going to have this not so much of a revolving door at quarterback, but you don't know how long Deshaun Watson is going to be out. And even if they say 8-9 games, that's half the season, and by that point, they're probably in 4th place already at that point.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough situation for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think anyone, is probably expecting playoffs from them right now. They could shock the world, but who knows? But speaking of shocking the world, that moves me onto the Cincinnati Bengals, and they shocked the world, and probably not themselves, but they shocked a lot of people making it to the Super Bowl. So now you got Joe Burrow, now you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got all these guys that got to the Super Bowl. Now they're hungry for more. They want to get back. But it's a little bit different now. It's one thing to make it and no one was really expecting you. Now that the word is out and everybody has seen you, it's that target on your back. And I've talked about that before. When you got that target on your back and everybody is gearing up for you every week, it's a little bit different environment than, what you previously experienced. So going into this season, is it possible that the Cincinnati Bengals could make a repeat return and appear in the Super Bowl again? Not saying they'll win it, but just be in the Super Bowl. I'll lead you, start with you first, Trey.
No, it's not happening. It's not happening this year.
Can we say hell on this podcast? Hell no.
You can say that. Go ahead.
Hell no. It's not happening. It's not happening. Let's paint a picture of what the AFC as a conference is. The AFC North is the 2nd toughest division in football. We've said we're the first for a long time, but the West, when you got the quarterbacks that you got, Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, that's going to be a tough division right there, right? And then you look over to the AFC East, where you got Josh Allen and the Bills, Miami. You got Tua, even though people are a little skeptical of Tua, but they also got one of the best playmakers in the league in Tyreek Hill in the offseason. So Miami's a threat. The Patriots, with the greatest coach in football, is still in the conference, is still in that division. So you can't count the Patriots out. And then somebody's got to win the South. We get that. I mean, we know the Texans, we know the Jags have no shot in this division. It's basically a 2-team race between the Titans and the Colts. And then you get to the North, where legitimately there's 3 teams. It's 3 teams. And I don't see how Cincinnati, whether they got a target on their back or not, this is, for me, this isn't about them having a target on their back. This is about the fact that this conference has gotten tougher this past offseason, and you got to deal with some of these quarterbacks that are in this conference now.
And Maestro, you gave an emphatic no to begin.
Yeah,
so
no, no way they're going to the Super Bowl again. Look, man, great. I'm glad that Cincinnati got that for themselves as a city and as a team, as an organization. I'm glad they got that for themselves. I hate to be well, I don't hate to be pessimistic at all. I'm gladly pessimistic to say that this is just that was a thing. I don't think nobody saw them coming like that. I don't even. And it's funny you said they didn't really shock themselves. I think they did shock themselves. I think they said, "Oh snap, we came in with this kind of cavalier attitude. Joe Burrow, all the swag, as people like to deem, and all that. He came in with all that, and all of that got them to the Super Bowl, and deservedly so. I'm not taking anything from what they did last year, but I think now that it's funny because I think Trey, we talked about I don't know if it was you I talked about it with, but I saw the wide receivers on the Pivot podcast recently, and
Mm-hmm.
they look smug. They look smug. They don't. They look like, oh, and they are the best right now by play. But
Right.
you best better believe that cornerback tandems are now coming for y'all as a wide receiver tandem. I know they made improvements on that offensive line, but we don't believe that your offensive line is fixed yet. Y'all got to prove that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
don't. I think they're gonna have a way tougher time in the North, let alone the AFC. Because even though we got Cleveland as number 4, Cleveland has a stout defense as well. So they're gonna have battles, but in the division, um, for that offense, let alone the rest of the conference. So with that, I think they got their work cut out for them, and I think they'll be better than Baltimore.
Oh.
You knew I. You see how I segue? You see how quick I segue
So
into it? You see how
Yeah.
quick I
so
did
y'all third.
it?
So wait, so Pittsburgh gonna be
No.
third? You got Pittsburgh
Oh no,
third
no
then, right?
sir, no
Okay.
sir, no sir.
Okay. Okay. I like your style right there. You got him third. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
But
Shots fired.
Jelani, let me say this real quick
Yeah.
because Maestro mentioned the defense, and I think this unit on Cincinnati didn't get talked about enough because
Oh
of
no, no,
how
no, no.
Jamar
Let me cut
Chase
you off
looked.
then. I'm talking about the division. I'm talking
What
about
up?
the defenses that Cincinnati offense has to play. Meaning
No,
Pittsburgh's
I know what you're
offense,
saying.
Baltimore. Okay, got you. Okay.
I know what you're saying. I got you there. I'm making a point about Cincinnati's defense because I don't feel like we've talked about them as a unit enough because of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the offense. That defense was a bit underappreciated. I mean, we kind of forget what they did in the second half in the title game against Kansas City. Like that was I thought one of the better performances by that defense last year for Cincinnati. So not
I don't believe
saying
that
that they're
defense.
top five or anything like that. I don't think they're like that like stout, you know what I mean? But I think they make plays like they made some plays here and there just to, get by. Like even in the Tennessee game the week before, they picked off Tannehill 3 times. I mean, they made, some clutch plays down the stretch in that game. So I give that side of the ball a little bit of credit because they don't get talked about enough.
Speaking of talking about, we're gonna talk about it right now, and we're gonna get to Maestro's team,
Let's do
which
it.
is the Pittsburgh Steelers here, and
Hold on.
this
Can I
is
talk? Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me if I talk like this?
yeah we can Antonio Brown, we can.
KKK? You the,
So-
you the KKK, bro?
so
Yo, chill.
You
so
need me to poke eyes through that?
no. So this is the first time in a while that the name Big Ben Roethlisberger or anything like that hasn't been mentioned because there's going to be a new quarterback that will be playing in Pittsburgh. So Trubisky, and then they go and they draft Pickett as well. I know at the beginning it looks like Trubisky is going to start this thing, but more of what I want to know, who's going to finish this thing at the end of the year? Is Pickett going to come on, or does Trubisky hold him off and really take the reins?
I don't think Trubisky holds him off. and more importantly, I don't want Trubisky to hold him off. My thing is this, and Trey will tell you, I wasn't high on Kenny Pickett being drafted in the first round by Pittsburgh. I get why they did it. I get that it's the move. We got a thing about drafting pit players and all that jazz and matazz that comes with drafting Kenny Pickett. But here's the thing: we did just draft a first round quarterback, and I expect him to be on the field as soon as possible because we need to know if he's emphatically our franchise quarterback or not. We got Mitchell Trubisky as a stopgap. We knew that's what he was going to be. Period. We got him for, I mean, fucking bird
What's
crumbs.
the
We got him
money?
for
What's
bird
the
crumbs.
money? What was the
Like
money?
like 3.5 a year. Like it was something like it's not a lot of money. It's
Uh-huh.
small money. 2 years,
Okay.
like he's going to make $7 million after 2 years. Like
Okay.
unless there's some type of incentives or something like that. So they signed him for crumbs. So we knew that he wasn't going to be our franchise quarterback unless he like goes crazy and plays at an all-star all NFL type of level, which nobody expects coming, nobody sees coming.
Mm-hmm.
um there's no way he's so I want the guy we drafted to be our guy, or not. So as soon as Kenny Pickett can get on the field, I say put him on the field. I do agree that we should start Mitchell Trubisky week one, and just so Kenny Pickett can see what's going on NFL level from the sidelines. And then if then it's gonna be time. It's gonna be time. Like kind of like what uh 49ers did with Trey Lance. They kind of, play, but series by series, started incorporating them slowly. That's kind of like what I want to see going on with Kenny Pickett. But by the end of the season, when we number one in the division, I definitely want Kenny Pickett to be starting. I don't care how good Mitchell Trubisky is, unless he's like up there, top five type quarterback.
Trey, it's on you, sir. I know this is tough, but I need a
No, it
little
ain't tough for me.
unbiased.
It's not tough for me.
No,
It's not
okay.
tough for me. But Maestro, kind of like the same conversation we had with another fan of the Giants a few weeks ago.
Oh,
They
who could
want
that
that
be?
particular quarter. They want that. Yeah, who could that be, right? The guy that wants Tyrod Taylor to start, but yet thinks the Giants are going to start off really hot. And if that's the case, that means Daniel Jones ain't gonna get benched, right?
Right.
If you want the Steelers
Mm-hmm.
to start off nice, and I know you didn't say that, you know,
You're right.
I'm
Because I
kind of
didn't.
I'm kind of predicting what's I'm kind of predicting like how you expect the season to go, in terms of wins and losses. If
Shouldn't do that.
Trubisky
Because I
plays
don't know.
well, if Trubisky plays well, bruh, he's not getting benched, bruh. Like if y'all win the
Define well.
division, he's not
Define
he's
well,
not
Trey.
getting benched. What's good?
Define well, though. Define well. If he
If
plays
if
well,
the
define well.
if the Steelers start 5-1, I'll just throw a record out there. If the Steelers start five and
Mm-hmm.
one and he plays well, and let's be clear, Najee Harris, I hate to say it, but he's a problem. And if
I
he can,
don't.
and if he's a problem, you expect Trubisky to do a lot for you on offense. I don't
That's
think that's the
more.
case.
Okay, so now you walked yourself right into my argument. We could be 5-1, and Mitchell Trubisky, just because Mitchell Trubisky doesn't lose the game doesn't mean he's playing well. We could be 5-1, and he'd be a 15 to 20 ranked quarterback. So
Sure.
with that being said, if he don't push the ball, but we know Kenny Pickett pushed the ball, then we going then it's logical to put the better quarterback in, who's going to make it easier for Najee Harris to do what he do. So if Mitchell Trubisky isn't the best option, then you got to
Mhm.
try your young gun, especially because you drafted him to be the franchise quarterback. That's what you drafted him for. You didn't draft him
No
because
doubt.
he was per
No
se the
question.
best quarterback and all those things. You built a relationship with this quarterback since he was in college.
No question.
So I mean, if you listen to Tomlin and Colbert talked about it when they draft, with while they always entertained Malik Willis, they always kind of knew that Kenny Pickett was going to be the guy that they drafted if he was available in that first round. So they got what they wanted, and they should, and I would imagine they would treat it as such. As soon as they can get him in, and it makes sense, I think he goes in.
Yeah, I think the scenario you're painting, yeah, I think he comes in under those circumstances, but I do think that if Trubisky plays well and y'all are winning games, I don't see a scenario where they're pulling Trubisky.
Okay, again, I'm gonna ask you a second time because you didn't really answer me.
Mm-hmm.
Define playing well. Define Mitchell Trubisky playing well, not the Steelers. Mitchell Trubisky. Define him playing well.
If he throws for 250, 2 touchdowns, like if that's like his average, like let's say that's his average, like 250, 2 touchdowns
In 2
through
days,
6 games.
22 NFL.
What's that?
I said in NFL 22, you think 250 and 2 touchdowns is
again with the running game. Again, y'all running game I would expect is probably going to be around top 5, top 10 in the league. And if that's the case, then I would expect that you're not going to expect much play from the quarterback. But the quarterback can still play well with those kinds of numbers, with that kind of running game. And if that's the case, then I don't see a scenario where he comes off the field. Now, if he does throw 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions in a game, and he's not playing well, and this happens, and I can see it being in one game. Like I can see it one game where they're like, okay, we've seen enough. It's time to bring the kid in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that being the case, but if Mitchell Trubisky is playing well with those numbers, 250, 2 touchdowns, then I don't see where he gets pulled.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
I'd see what Trey is getting at. Yeah, and at the end of the day, if it results in a W, you obviously get more of leeway if they still finish out with the W. If it turns into more
he buys time. Mitchell Trubisky buys time. With those numbers, he buys time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you thinking about it from that. You thinking about it from just staying. I guess the term I'm looking, staying above water or floating on the water, whatever it is. I'm looking at it more like the Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick situation, where you got a good quarterback, a qualified quarterback who's not losing you games, but you need something that's going to take you over the top. Mitchell Trubisky,
and just to point out that situation, Alex Smith, if you remember when he got pulled for Kaepernick, Alex Smith got hurt in one of those games. And that's when the Niners decided, hey, it's time to end the Alex Smith era. Let's bring in Kaepernick, and then they took off. If Trubisky gets hurt, then they'll bring Pickett in. I could see that being a possibility. And Kenny Pickett not looking back.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I hear you. I look at Mitchell Trubisky's ceiling, and I look at the possibility of Kenny Pickett's ceiling. I don't see where Mitchell Trubisky, unless he's playing, top 10 quarterback next year.
He's on a better roster too.
Huh?
And that pains me to say that. I said that pains me to say it, but Mitchell Trubisky is on a better roster than he's
100%.
ever had in Chicago.
Right.
Let me shout out NFL young boy one time, and we not going. And you notice I said NFL young boy because my young boy from Georgia at wide receiver is looking like a straight dog.
That's one game. Wow.
He looked like a straight. Not just the game though.
Okay.
I've been watching him and I've been watching it. Yeah, he looked like a dog. Right. I mean, right now he looked like. I know he's not the best receiver. I'm not going that far. I'm just saying. The hype is there.
I'll give you this. And we'll get to your team in a second, Trey.
We ain't got to, bro.
The credit I will give the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's the best for last.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have always seemed to get it right with wide receivers. When you go back to the Hines Wards, the Mike Wallace, the Emmanuel Sanders, the Antonio Browns, the Martavius Bryants,
Antonio Holmes.
Yeah, Santonio Holmes, like Deontay Johnson. It just seems like they get that right. And when a wide receiver says something like they want to move on or whatever, they like, all right, and then another guy just comes in, man, and George Pickens could be that guy. That's all I was gonna say. Yeah. But let's talk about Trey and your Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens, sir, they got ravaged last year. I mean, to lose both of your running backs and then you lose both of your corners and who knows who else that they lost, last year.
The quarterback. The most important thing, the quarterback.
Lamar got hurt, all that stuff. So everybody's back. Everybody looks to be ready to go. Simple. Is this the year Baltimore gets back to the Super Bowl?
You're damn right.
See, that's it. We're already done.
Listen. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
So,
let me tell you something.
We got a Lamar Jackson who is on a rookie deal, final year of the rookie deal. Mm-hmm. Everybody's wondering, is this guy going to sign the extension? What's going on? Why the Ravens haven't come to a terms of agreement? He doesn't have an agent, blah, 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 and all this stuff. Look, calm down, folks. Like, Ravens fans are so scared he's going to go to Miami next year and all this stuff. Look, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the season one bit. Lamar has got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to come back. This man put on an extra 25 pounds of muscle on himself. This dude is ready. He's been working out. He's been practicing with the new receivers, and I know that that's a question mark for the team. But look, man, this guy is on fire right now. He's ready to get back at it. He's going to cash in, whether he wins the Super Bowl or not. But I do believe that he's going to get this team to the promised land and cash in, bro. I mean, look, the previous quarterback, Joe Flacco, did it, some years ago. Bet on himself, won the Super Bowl, got paid. Lamar can do the same thing here in this situation. And you got a pissed off running back in J.K. Dobbins. Everybody's been wondering about this dude's health. Everybody's saying, oh, he's a little gimpy, which, is the case. He was a little bit gimpy, but then people started saying, oh, he might not be ready for week one. And my man came out on Twitter and was like, yo, don't be spreading no lies on me about me, right, not being ready. Nigga, I'm going to be ready week one. Mm-hmm. Like that, like my man got something to prove on that field. So it's going to be a massacre for anybody that's standing our way, bro. Like we was a number one seed with all these injuries mid-season, and then Lamar goes down, and then all of a sudden we lose 6 straight, bro. We get everybody back. We coming for that top spot.
Maestro, it's on you.
Man, that didn't move me at all, man. That didn't move me at all, man.
I'm not trying to move you, bro.
I think Cleveland might beat you. I think Baltimore might be number 4 now. I think they might be number 4 in the division now. Like that didn't move me at all. This is the last. Jelani, because I respect your show, this is the last sprinkle of objectivity I am going to allow to come out of my mouth.
I appreciate it.
Lamar Jackson is a top 10 and probably will be by the end of the season a top 5 quarterback in this league. Highlights and like he the man. There's nothing to be argued about that. They don't have a pass rush on defense. I get the secondary. The secondary is the secondary, but it's only so long fake thugs can pretend. If you know, you know. I don't believe that in the end, Lamar Jackson has the receivers to throw, this is what I said about Lamar Jackson.
Never had.
Right, and here we are. And here we are, right?
And he won an MVP.
He won an MVP. He did.
Nothing.
And since then, let's just get to it. Let's just get to the Lamar Jackson issue. We don't know if he could throw the ball with the elite quarterbacks. We don't know. And if it's because he won't throw it to the bum receivers, or the receivers are so bum, or he can't throw it to the bummy receivers, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I disagree.
But we don't know that he can throw with the elite throwers in the league yet. Period. I get that he had a regular season game where with Kansas City one game, and he beat some good teams, and he's a good, like I said, he's a top 10 right now without, and like I said, he'll probably by the end of the season he'll be right back in that top 5 conversation. All valid. But when it's time to throw with the big boys, we don't know if he can do that.
We do know.
And
we do know. There's evidence.
Who know? What
know.
evidence you referring to?
Dude, there's evidence last year. On a Monday night against the Colts, we was down 25-8.
We talking about when it mattered, Trey. We talking about when it mattered, Trey.
We talking about when it mattered, Trey.
We talking about when it mattered, Trey. We
won the football game. We won the football game.
We talking about when it matters, Trey. No, I'm talking about the playoffs, Trey. You just said your team is a Super Bowl team. I'm talking about the playoffs then. Because if your team is a Super Bowl team, then we know you're going to the playoffs, right?
Sure, but we just started.
Okay, so I'm talking about when it matters.
Hold on. That question about we don't know whether he can throw with the big boys or not, that question got answered last year.
Yeah, I don't see that.
It was I don't know how you
I get it.
Unless you just didn't watch the games. If you didn't watch the games, I understand.
Here's the thing.
Because we were down 25-8 against the Colts on a Monday night. He threw us back in the game and we won the game. We were down, I don't know how many points we was down to the Minnesota Vikings on a Sunday afternoon. He threw us back in the game. We won the game. We back against Kansas City after being down 12 points. We beat the Kansas City Chiefs on a Sunday night. Like
Kansas City was trash then. They was trash when they was trash that point of the season. They were. They were trash that point of the season.
Game number 3.
They were trash.
That's that objectivity going out the window, Trey.
Yeah. They were trash. They were trash. Week 3, they were trash. They didn't get together. They didn't get together to like week 8, week 9. They didn't get together week 8, week 9.
Game 3, we determined they was trash. The game that we determined that the Chiefs was trash was when they got stomped by Tennessee in Tennessee. That was the game where everybody said, "Oh, this team got some issues."
We were talking about that week 3. Clear. We were talking about that week 3. We don't know if Kansas City is Kansas City. If we don't know if they're the same team.
We ain't say that. We didn't say that. They was putting up points. The first 3 weeks, they was putting up points. We always knew Kansas City's defense was suspect. We always knew that.
All right, bro.
Come on, bro. Come on, fam.
Hey,
don't change it.
Now my rankings changed. Y'all are number 4. Y'all are number 4. My rankings changed now. Y'all are number 4.
We got the best quarterback in the division.
And y'all still number 4. Because
wow.
you ain't got no pass rush.
So Maestro is
okay.
Maestro is. I think he's saying
we're gonna be fine with that.
I think Maestro is saying no. Y'all not going to the Super Bowl. So I'll get you out of here with this. And I appreciate you coming on, man. I got Trey and Maestro here, man, and it has been fun. These gentlemen have their own show, their own podcast that they do. So you can check it out as well. But they can tell you better than I can. So, gentlemen, please plug your show while you're on here.
Absolutely. It's the Barbershop Sportalk Podcast. You know, like my homeboy, my brother Maestro's got the hat on right there. You know, every Wednesday the episode drops wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. You can follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sportalk Podcast. And you can also click the like button on our Facebook page. And we do these shows. You can watch us live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is every show. So catch it.
Damn right.
Because it is just like the Barbershop, and that is why it is awesome. So make sure you check out the guys. Make sure you check out any other content that they put out previously, because all their shows is awesome. So, gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming on, man. And maybe, you know, after, or maybe the week of, where Pittsburgh and Baltimore play each other, I might dare to have y'all back on. It probably won't be as, you know, kumbaya,
I'm gonna be more angry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you will, because y'all be trash.
No, I'm gonna be angry to beat that ass when we see y'all. we gonna be top of the division at that point. I think we see y'all like December the first time. I think.
No, I thought it was it's
Probably.
late.
It's late.
That's,
Yeah,
It's late.
exactly.
That's gonna make it even better. But appreciate it, fellas, for coming on, man.
Love, appreciate you, man.
Always,
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, always love talking with y'all.
No doubt, no doubt.
So that was Trey and Maestro, man. Oh my gosh, tons of stuff there. I know you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We'll get them back on, like I said. So let's take a break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to get into some Redeem Team footage, film, LeBron, D Wade. You know it's going to be big. So we'll talk about that and some more on the other side. We'll be back after some words from these breaks.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkincolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkincolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drinking Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, count it low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott, the owner, at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go on Facebook and Instagram.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and you're listening to or watching.
It's the
Get
Wait
that
a
out of your
Minute
head,
Show.
Jelani. Yeah, watching the Wait a Minute Show. So let's get back. Ooh, basketball talk. So we already know 2008, the USA Olympic men's basketball team went into the Olympics with a mission of redeeming themselves. And they were called the Redeem Team because previously in the 04 and in some other, Olympics that didn't quite work out. So, they had to remind the rest of the world that they were about that business. So guys like LeBron, Kobe, D Wade, I remember Deshaun Prince was on this team. And the reason they were called the Redeem Team, one, because obviously they were used to winning gold, but the other thing was this was the first time that the USA basketball team really just didn't just say, all right, all-star, and go out there. They collectively and they made a point as far as to make sure whoever was on this team highlighted something. So you heard me mention Deshaun Prince. So, previous years, Deshaun Prince wouldn't have been, on this team. But the reason Deshaun Prince was on this team was defense. As far as what he brought to the table, even on the offensive side, I think some people slept on what Deshaun Prince could do on the offensive side of the ball. But they put this team together to highlight certain parts of what they wanted to implement and make it just a horrible game for the competitors that they were running into. And of course, they took care of business and they won gold in 2008. So all of that, now LeBron James and D Wade they're executive producing and they're putting together, I think it's supposed to be on Netflix. It's October 7th. if I'm correct, that it should be everything came about. They're going to talk about, I guess, their mindset. That we're going to get some insight to, what happened, with that team. We're going to get some Kobe highlights. So I know a lot of people will be excited, about that. They got interviews set up where Carmelo, Coach K, Chris Paul, and I'm sure probably others are going to be speaking on this. So to just find out, and look, they meant business, and it was answering those question marks that was put out there in front of Team USA. Had the world caught up to them. And I've always said the world was catching up with U.S. Basketball. I'm not saying that it was better than U.S. basketball, but it was catching up. And I think, just off of what the 92 Dream Team did, the USA basketball teams kind of just rode that wave as well to a certain degree. I'm not saying that they just took it totally for granted, but you went in there and you just like, look, we're just going to play our game and we're just going to win. But the world was getting better, and we saw that. And then they said, you know what? Let's really remind them, yeah, we can turn this thing up, and we're going to get a whole overview. We're going to get all the insight that's going to be going on with this. So yeah, let me make sure. Yeah, October 7th, they're going to be putting this out streaming. So this is going to be something right on board with the NBA season, something to definitely be talking about later on. So I mentioned it now. We'll be talking about it again when it come out in October. And I'm excited. Yes. So we talked about Deshaun. We talked about the AFC North. We talked about LeBron. Hey, I want to talk about the San Francisco 49ers, right? And I saw this and I'm just like, no, this is not. No. So what I'm talking about is that CEO Jet York was speaking about, Jimmy Garoppolo and Jimmy G being there. And we know Jimmy G has not, left San Francisco. We know Jimmy has not been traded and all that stuff. And we're getting closer and closer to week one. So we are expecting something here to, possibly be done. But Jet York went out there to say that, hey, if Jimmy is here, I don't have a problem with Jimmy being here. I don't have a problem, if Jimmy, stays on the team. That's not, a big deal. Excuse me? It is a big deal. It is a big deal. And it's not because of, just Jimmy Garoppolo. Because Jimmy has been quiet. Jimmy hasn't said anything. Jimmy has did probably everything that they asked, and Jimmy understands the business side, of this. And he knows there's another team in his future, whether it's right this year or next season, whatever. It's this season or next season. Jimmy knows his time is still, coming. So to go out there and just, make a big, thing about it, yeah, he's not going to do that. He's going to be the professional. But for Jet York to say, no. Jimmy can't be on this team, and here's why. And like I said, it's nothing to do with Jimmy. It's nothing to do with Trey Lance. It's nothing to do with Kyle Shanahan. It's nothing to do with John Lynch. It's to do with everybody outside of that building. Because the San Francisco media and anybody else is not going to just let the 49ers just ease on through the weeks, each week, and not talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Players are going to get upset. Players are going to get frustrated. They're not going to want to talk about it. We already know Trey Lance is going to go through some ups and downs. The brother has only played 2 games is where he started. So he still is going through that learning process. And if you got Jimmy Garoppolo sitting there and things are going bad, then the media start asking, and of course, Kyle Shanahan and them, they're going to say, look, Trey is our guy, and they're going to keep playing him. But the media are going to keep asking. They're going to keep asking. People are going to keep writing. People are going to keep wondering. You got Jimmy sitting here, and he's a guy who went to the Super Bowl, played in the Super Bowl, got them, I think they were in the NFC Championship game last year, so they could have got to the Super Bowl again. So this is not like, it's some a rookie or some, journeyman, quarterback that, no, this dude has a winning record. This dude has been to the Pro Bowl. This dude has done some very, very good things. And if he's sitting there on that sideline and Trey Lance Trey Lance has some problems or struggles, then all these things are going to pop up. And this is stuff that don't need to be going on. So, no, Jimmy can't be there for the reasons of other people. And I know they're going to be like, we're going to handle it, and all that stuff, but it's going to get annoying. And some folks, they're not going to be able to handle it the same way. The other thing I didn't like one of the things I didn't like that York said was, and I guess I shouldn't say I didn't like it, but I just I don't agree with that. One of the things he said was about, hey, if you remember, Joe Montana and Steve Young was on the team together, kind of referencing is kind of the same thing. Not the same thing at all. Because one, neither one of them, Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy Garoppolo does have a Super Bowl, with the Patriots, but being the starting quarterback, neither one of them has a Super Bowl. Neither one of them had won 4 Super Bowls, right? And then Joe Montana got hurt, and then Steve Young was sitting in the wings to take over. That's a different scenario where you got the wily vet, and then you got this young cat, coming in the accomplished, So it's not the same thing, right? I get where Jet was trying to go with it, but Jimmy wasn't on on that level to say Joe Montana, Steve Young. So I don't think that's necessarily apples to apples. But then also you didn't have the coverage that you have now, where social media and all that play, where everybody's just going to be talking about it day in, day out. Don't get me wrong, they did talk about it, with Steve Young sitting there, and everything. But I just think hey, let's try and find Jimmy somewhere to go, because he's going to be gone at some point. Let's see if we can speed this up and help him out in the process, and then you help out your quarterback, Trey Lance. So, okay, we'll see. I could be wrong, but I doubt it, right? I doubt it. So normally I will go to a break, but I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to give you one break. We're going to finish this thing out because we're up against the time anyway for the show. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is T. Brizzle. Yeah, Tom Brady. Yeah, I'm talking about Tom Brady again. Now, people are wondering, what is going on with Tom Brady? He's not at camp. He's gone. When will he be back? No one has, given any type of, explanation or time frame of when he'll be back. Now, Todd Bowles has said that this was pre-discussed before everything was going on, so it was already known at this point in junction that Tom Brady would not be in camp. So the main thing is, and I'm with everybody else, is that we're hoping that this is not anything, and I don't think it is, because since it was talked in advance, and I'm hoping, but we're hoping that it's nothing to do with health or anything like that with anybody. And if it is, that's his business anyway, and that's none of our business, to be talking about. Look, things happen at your job where you got to leave. If that's what it is, and again, I hope it's not, then he's taking care of business. He's being a husband, he's being a father, he's being a son, he's being a man, whatever. On it. He's taking care of, some things. So I'm hoping that it is nothing like that. So I'm answering this with eliminating that, right? Eliminating that. Do you really think Tom Brady would just disappear, take time off at this point in his career, or do something if he really didn't, need to do it? If he really didn't, maybe it was a prior commitment. If he didn't think that he would be able to come back and get on board and everything, the same guy that's the first guy there, last guy to leave, studying and everything, always got a chip on his shoulder, always trying to prove everybody wrong and all that good stuff. You really think Tom Brady would just up and leave? He has a good reason, and especially in the NFL world, he has earned the right to do something like that. Nobody's going to question it. He's going to come back. He's going to be back by week 1. The main thing is probably like reps and practice, because he ain't going to be playing in no preseason games. So we're not even worried about that. But He will figure it out. He will get back. He will understand, and they will be all right. They got some other things that they got to worry about with injuries and all that stuff that's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Tom Brady is the last thing I think anybody really got to be worried about. You're going to wonder where he is. Yeah, I get it. But he's going to be somewhere near the city of Tampa soon by week 1, and we won't even be talking about this anymore. So, Lopan, thank you for kicking my music. We're going to go ahead, get out of here. No big L. We're not giving out any L's, this week. But make sure you tune in to the next show. We'll be talking NFC East, Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles, Giants. That should be interesting. I'm going to have another guest for you. Tune in to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Turn on those notifications, man. Holla at your boy. As we always do, we're going to have some fun. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, I'm going to holla at y'all later. 2 things as always. Stay positive and push forward. Open. You can get us out of here.